It would be disingenuous of me to say that the only way to properly retire out of real estate is to join my EXP group and grow your revenue share organization. Is that a way that's possible? Absolutely, without a question. But there are other ways that realtors can retire out of this industry and do it with a consistent income. The problem with most agents, even the high producing ones, is that they haven't built up any vehicles to consistently pay them an income when they aren't the driving source of procuring new business. That is what most people would call an income opportunity that, even if you are really good at it, stops the second that you stop continuing to push it. How can realtors consistently grow if they're not doing that? And maybe they don't even join my revenue share organization, because it would be disingenuous, like I said, to say that's the only way to do it. Another way of doing it would be getting multifamily units. Buy 5 units, increase some of the property's value by changing the floors, making the paint better, redoing the kitchens and bathrooms, increasing the rent, and then forcing an increased net operating income, which increases the value of the asset over time. You can maybe sell that, get more units, so on and so forth. So commercial multifamily investment makes a lot of sense for realtors. A lot of them do it and have great success with it. Unfortunately, I don't think enough utilize that category. But what else can you do? You can join a revenue share team. You can do multifamily business. You can try starting a real estate brokerage. I've done that. I don't suggest that you follow in those footsteps. I think that it's not a valuable vehicle. If you're looking for a very valuable vehicle, look at something in your space. If it's real estate, look at something in real estate that you can create a business around, that you have a niche in, something that you already have a proven track record in, and then you can turn that into a business and hire people eventually to take over your roles in that business and have a properly well-oiled machine building a business for yourself without you involved. And over time, you can either sell that as an actual business, or you can continue to just love the reoccurring revenue that you consistently get from that business. The thing that's the problem with being a real estate agent is that you cannot sell your business, even if you wanted to. There is inherently very little to almost no value in the business that you've built. If you have built a business based on your personal brand, there is not a lot of inherent sellable, quote, sellable value to that brand. Should you build a personal brand as a realtor? Absolutely, you should. But if you are building a personal brand with the intention to eventually sell it, it is not going to be worth your while. So build a business alongside the industry that you have great product knowledge of, and then you can start to build a reoccurring income that doesn't require you to be ever present. In real estate, we deal with cycles of the market, we deal with cycles of agents, and we deal with the horrible reality of being involved in every single transaction, most of the steps. Even if you hire it out and you build a strong team, then you still have to manage the team. If you get a manager, you still have to manage the manager who manages the team. How do you eventually get out? I'm going to tell you that there is no such thing as complete passive income. There is, however, something called residual income. What you want to build is a residual income portfolio that has the ability to consistently grow without a lot of hands-on attention. And there isn't a lot of places in the world that really offer that, short of owning a business, which is why a lot of you high-producing agents, high-performing team leaders consider owning a real estate brokerage, because you see that you can start leveraging humans and technology and your experience to get that residual income. But it does not work that way in practice. It sounds good in theory, it doesn't work well in practice. The sellable value of a brokerage is 2.5 to 3.5x your net income after all expenses, after all agents are paid, after all of the things are broken down, and that does not count any leads that you hand them and take extra splits on. It only counts what is in your contracts with your agents, so it is not inherently as valuable as you think it will be when or as you grow it. The average real estate brokerage that gets created never gets more than 10 agents. If it does, it usually stagnates around 30 agents. So when you look at the valuation metrics of those, they're less valuable than if you sold them than doing a single year of production. And the amount of time that you're going to put into growing it is going to be a lot more than just doing an extra single year of production over a 10-year period of time. So what I suggest you do is find a niche, build a business around that niche that you already have product knowledge in, and then do it alongside your real estate business, and invest in commercial spaces, invest in multifamily units, because it's a product and a segment of the market that you have a good understanding in. I do suggest that you do a lot of research before you invest in any of these things. Do a lot of due diligence in that process. But if you do it right, you can win. Every single realtor should have an LLC, but when you start looking at the broader landscape of why you got into the business, a lot of it was, from most people that I talk to, for income freedom, for the ability to eventually not have to do sales, for sometimes they just want to help people. Either way, what you want to do is help more people and get more income freedom. And it is very difficult to do that from real estate sales production only. Especially with the volatility of the market, it makes it even more difficult. What I will say today is, if you invest time into doing something alongside the business that you've already proven, you will have way better results than you will if you just focus on real estate. And I'm not saying in the short term. Clearly, in the short term, if you're a productive real estate agent, you're going to be able to capitalize on more money through commissions than you would in almost any other market segment that you attempt. But eventually, when you want to stop selling, because it is a hamster wheel, no matter what anybody tells you, if you do enough business in real estate, you realize that almost every transaction is very similar. They are almost all the same transaction. There is some ebbs and flows. There's different hurdles to them, but effectively you're only going to have about 30 different hurdles per side of the transaction, and then different ones pop up at different transactions. So if you do enough volume, you start to see that it's all the exact same thing. Once that happens, all you realize is you produce, you get more clients, you help them, and then you push them through the funnel. You hope that you can close those clients and then they refer you and then you grow it. That's the hope. But every single year on January 1, which is coming up in a few weeks here, you have to start back at zero. You have to redo all of it. And the more you do, the more you produce, the harder it is to recreate that type of income. And what's very strange to me is that in every other business, that is not how it works. In every other business, you grow a business and it continues to grow upon itself. You build a foundation of the business, then you grow it, grow it, grow it, and grow it. So if you're looking eventually to stop real estate sales, you need to add another layer. A reason why so many agents across the landscape are moving to these virtual offices that offer revenue share is because it allows a very easy and harmonious relationship between the agent who is producing and the ability to grow that residual income without having to do a lot of extra steps, without adding an entire extra business, without building an entire extra product. It allows you to continue doing what you're already doing, having the same conversations that you're already having, but get compensated a lot more for doing the exact same things, which is why so many people are delving into it. If you're curious about how that actually works, you can click the link in the description and we can have a conversation about how that all works. But the long story short of it goes, a team is difficult to run because you have to take a split from your team members, and they are going to want a lot of time and attention from you for that extra split. They might even expect leads. But in the system of an EXP revenue share organization, you are not charging the agent anything. The company is compensating you merely and purely for helping bring them into the company. And they will compensate you as long as that agent is at the company. And when you partner with somebody like us, you get the ability to utilize all of the tools and resources that we already created and give those to your other agents that are interested in joining as well. So you don't have to create anything, you don't have to change your business at all, and you get to add an extra income stream that eventually will allow you to pivot out of the hamster wheel of real estate production. If you want to start investing in multifamily units, and everybody in the channel is interested in hearing me explain how to properly do that, I'm happy to walk you through how that actually works. If you are interested in what other businesses that you might want to add to a list of what you're doing, send me a message. Shoot me a message in the comments, and I will get back to every single one of them. If you are specifically interested in real estate space things, most realtors that become really productive are interested in doing things like coaching or training or something like that. What I will caution all of you against is doing just that, because it is hyper time intensive. And what you're doing is you're switching your ability to earn commissions based off of your efforts to an hourly rate effectively. And a lot of people that get into real estate are specifically trying to avoid an hourly rate. Even if you can command a large hourly rate, that is less valuable than building a residual income that comes consistently without you necessarily engaging in multiple hours of time, because it's not just a measure of the income, it's a measure of the income versus the time that you're putting into the vehicle. Thank you so much for joining me on the video. If you guys have any ideas of what you would like me to talk about in the real estate space, I'm very open to hearing what everybody that watches has for feedback, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say. What are the ways that you are trying to build residual income in your business so that you can eventually retire yourself?